Hello, viewers. Welcome back to season 2, and we continue to serve it hot, like I said earlier on. We are looking at topics that are very educative and informative, and I believe that as you learn this topic, you apply and you take practical steps to live a healthy life. So today, we're going to be looking at some dysfunction that people may not even know that they exist, especially focusing on women. And I trust that at the end of this session, you will take practical steps to seek for help. I want to thank and appreciate all our supporters, our viewers, and our subscribers. I want to say thank you to Abigail Signature for the outfit. I want to say thank you to Omron TV. They are working behind the scene tirelessly, and we appreciate you. So I'm going to introduce my guest today for the special discussion. It's very sensitive, but it's very informative as well. So I have with me the ever gorgeous, beautiful Counselor Perfect Udro, who is coming from the Counseling Perfect Network. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
And with me, alongside her, is Professor Patrick Amwateng from the University of Ghana. Last time I introduced him, I forgot to tell you a surprising element. He is a youth minister of the Crossway Community Church. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So we go straight to our discussion today. I don't know if you noticed, we're all having some African fabric. We're giving you the African taste to it. So stay tuned. We're promoting Africa.
Yeah.
All right, Prof. So what is this female sexual dysfunction all about? Can you help us?
Okay, so I think it's a bit linked in a way to what we discussed at the time about the male sexual dysfunction. So this is a focus on the female, and it's basically defined as any complaint or problem that's associated with the female not able to have, desire or even arousal or orgasm or having pain during a sexual encounter with a partner. And this presents some form of distress, to that particular individual. So this is just a lay definition of what female sexual dysfunction is. So basically it's about the functioning of the female sexual activity.
Okay.
Yes.
So you said they don't have a desire for sexual intimacy.
Yes.
Or even if they have it, maybe they are not aroused sexually.
Exactly.
Or if they are aroused sexually, they cannot get to achieve orgasm.
Yes.
Or the last bit we look at, they will have pain during
Pain,
sexual
yes.
intimacy.
Yes.
Does it have to be present at all time to be classified as a dysfunction, or it's just a one-off?
Yeah, so it's all these are medical, based on specific diagnostic measures. And so if the person has any of these occurring more than 75% of the time, and within a period or even over a period of 6 months, then you can describe it as a dysfunction. And then also, if that is causing distress to the individual, so that is also an important component of it. So the occurrence, the period when it occurs, and then whether it is causing some dysfunction, distress to the person who's experiencing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Counselor, have you ever experienced in your work women complaining that they struggle to be sexually aroused, or maybe they have pain in your work, line of work?
Yeah, mostly after giving birth. Most of my clients who complain about dysfunctioning during sexual dysfunctions, after giving birth, you realize that the hormones changes. So some don't have the libido that they used to have. And others too, taking care of the child directs the attention from themselves to the child. So that responsibility coming in reduces their desire to have sex.
Okay, so it means that you come across women
Yeah.
who are concerned about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Prof, is this something that we can say is prevalent? Is this something that is very common with women, or is it an isolated case?
Okay, so there are studies that have given some, statistical values. Generally, between 30 to 60% of women will experience any form of sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
And just as maybe to add a little more to what I said earlier, they would either have some problem with the arousal, the desire, the arousal, the orgasm, or it has to do with pain.
Okay.
So there was a study that was done by one of my good friends, Professor Nafiu. He did it in Kumasi,
Okay.
and he interviewed about 301 women
Okay.
about their sexual, and he realized that roughly about 72% of the women have some form of sexual dysfunction.
So, what's the topmost in that research?
Yeah, so the topmost that he had was they are not able to reach orgasm. That was about 72%. And then they also have, others who could not, they were dissatisfied with their sexual act. There were also others who had pain, during sex. So when there's pelvic thrusting, they experience pain. We call it vaginismus.
Okay.
And then, so vaginismus rather is more of the spasms, vaginal spasms that can lead to pain, and then also they cause the vaginal, canal to be closed, and so penetration is difficult, and that can lead to the pain during sex. So you also had a greater percentage of them having that. And then also had some people who were totally avoiding sex. About 60% or so were avoiding sex. So most Ghanaian women, or most women, usually have issues with either having even the desire for sex. So a lot of them have that as a challenge.
Okay.
And then those who do, and they are able to engage, a greater percentage of them also do not achieve orgasm.
Okay.
Some don't even know what it is.
All right. So,
And
Prof,
then,
go ahead.
of course, there will be others who will have pain
All right.
during sex. But as she mentioned, there are certain people who would have such kinds of things, really after childbirth.
Yeah.
The hormonal
And even
changes, and breastfeeding as well,
Pre-menstrual, you realize that before the onset of menses, you don't feel you have the ovulation period. That's where you feel for sex. Most women feel for sex, but when it's 2-3 days to menstruation, you don't, because your breast is tender. The mood swings comes in, so your libido drops. It's all.
All right. So what I want us to do, I know we're going to look at female sexual dysfunction, breaking it down, but looking at the study that a professor, your friend, did, I want us to explore this big elephant, orgasm.
Okay.
I want us to, because the percentage is very high, and I want us to just take in a journey about orgasm in women, and we look at sociocultural activity and what can be done. So can we just go through that, and then we can get back again to the FSD, so that before we get to the dysfunction, let us know what function and how it functions well. Is that okay, Prof?
Yes, so we are not really moving far away. I mean, we are discussing the sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
So definitely one part, looking at it in parts, one part is focused on the orgasm.
Okay.
And a lot of females or women are not able to, achieve orgasm in sexual relationships.
Okay.
So that is a serious problem.
Yeah.
About 1 in 4 of women, they have never experienced orgasm, and we are not even sure whether they will ever have it.
So you're saying if we have 4 women like here in this
Yes.
room, only one of us
Yes,
will have
in
ever
4.
experienced
Yes.
orgasm. The
Yes.
3,
Yes.
there's
So
highly
that's
likely
quite
that's
a great
really high.
percentage, you know.
That's
So
high.
usually it's around 1 in 4, and then also in about 1 in 100 have 100 has ever experienced though they have regular, orgasm. So 1 in 4 has experienced orgasm at least once in their life, and then 1 in 100 regularly experience orgasm.
Hey,
So
that's
if you want to know the number,
It's scary.
it's just 1 in 100. If you pick 100 women, it's only one of
One.
them that you can find who
Regular.
regularly experience orgasm.
I think you need to play the lottery and be lucky. You need to play the orgasm lottery and win it. Just on a lighter note, it's scary. So, looking at this now, could there be a contributing factor for men?
Yes, there is. So I think hinging from or starting from some aspects that I heard in the previous discussions, the whole aspect of sex and the way we look at it from the African perspective is a challenge. If sex is all about the man being the one who is supposed to enjoy it, and everything is being done to be able to achieve that, then there's a way, it's as if the women have been left, unattended to. And that is a challenge. So the man is in control. He thinks that just trusting, into the woman, pelvic trusting is the only means by which he can have a satisfaction. That is what he sees sex to be. And in fact, that alone is not able to give the woman orgasm. It is known that it is the clitoral stimulation that actually gives the woman orgasm. So even when the man is trusting, if the man is unable to stimulate the clitoris even whilst trusting, it will be very difficult for the woman to achieve her orgasm. And usually within the average time for a man trusting and in and out, it's about 4 to 7 minutes for the average man. For a woman, it will take about 10 to 15 minutes before she will probably be able to get orgasm just by trusting. By then, the man would have already arrived.
Yeah.
And the woman will still be left. So it's like you're all going to Tamale. And then you end in...
You alight in
you alight at...
Kumasi.
Yeah.
Some people even alight at Insawam.
And so and the woman is still
And
waiting.
the woman
to
is
go
still
to-
waiting for them to
Wow.
continue the journey.
Wow.
So that is very, very... that is a serious problem. That is a socio-cultural aspect. People should men should reorient their thinking. That it is not just only the trusting. I mean, I've always thought about this. How can there be 2 women? I mean, that is not the type of practice, sexual practice we want to encourage, but how can 2 women sexually, can't get to a stage where they can satisfy themselves? But you have a man, and he's unable to take a woman to the journey and let her reach, orgasm. Some don't even know what it means. So it is quite, I think it is the reorientation of the man to understand that you need to take time with the woman. The men, ours is like the gas, cooker. Just pop, and then it's on. But the woman is an electric stove.
Imagine.
It will take time,
Before it's, yeah.
to warm her up. And it will take time for her to also
Calm down.
come down. But for the men, and then
Yeah, yeah.
they are there. So I think it is for men to also reorient themselves to this understanding, women are different from men when it comes to sex.
All right. Counselor,
Yeah.
do you want to add to what Prof just said about the cultural aspect of men just thrusting? Before you come to that, I see a lot here. When I came here, I see a lot of advert, big cucumber. You want to be big, and it's like there is this thing that the bigger, the better. And so it's good for thrusting. He can do the job. Is that really what it is?
It's not how big it is, how strong it is, but it depends on you, the man. You understand? So if you are having a cucumber, somebody is having okro, it's how the okro uses it. You can have a cucumber and you can't use it well. Still, the person will not reach orgasm. So it's about the foreplay. So, you see, he was saying that the duration is different. So you need to perform the foreplay for her to reach certain level before you start to trust. But if you don't do that, and you think it's just about you penetrating in and out, you just be giving pains to her. It's too big, she'll be having pains and all that. Yeah. And it's not all about the penetration. You see, sex starts from the mind. So as we are talking about men giving women foreplay and all that, if a woman to the 21st century woman should know what she wants, not just socially, but when it comes to sexual aspects, know what you want. Be able to communicate it to your partner. Be able to have sexual conversation with your sexual partner. You can't be in a relationship with your husband and you don't talk about sex. And you expect him to be a magician to know how your body works. You that you have your body, you don't even know where it tickles you, where it can take you to the 9th level. You don't. How can he? So as a woman too, you must learn to be vocal. You see, sometimes the man will want sex, but you are not ready for sex. Sometimes you, the lady, you want sex. You are ovulation, you are thinking about it. You want him to hold you in a certain way. You want him to be the domineering partner. You want him to do this, you want him to do that. And it's all stuck in your mind. You'll be watching a lot of movies and you can't even say anything. So if he's not doing that to you, it's like, oh, he's not doing anything. Communicate it to him. And you can also initiate sex. Initiate it. Be in control. Because you see, orgasm is not just about the man giving it to you. So certain positions that you know that this is what gives me orgasm. Do the position and let him do it for you. You understand? Sometimes, I always say that when it comes to sex, sometimes you have to be selfish. You want the orgasm. You want to be free. You want to have that experience, because if it's 1 out, 100, 1 out in 100 have regular orgasm. The 99 are just
passengers.
Passengers, and it's quite pathetic. And with every 4, just 1 person is experiencing orgasm. That is bad. It means that a lot of women have let this conversation slide. We don't talk about it. And sometimes women talk among themselves, but they don't delve deeper into it. So let's help the men to know what works for us. If 2 women can do things and have orgasm, why can't you let your man? It's about communication. So let your man know what works for you. Know your body. Be in tune with your body, because orgasms are important. And I like to say that, you see, as we said, it's not the bigger. So men should stop focusing on just the bigger being the macho and all about it. You understand? Try to understand your woman. Sex starts from the mind. So talk to her. Let her be comfortable with you. I have this client who we were talking. She's actually a side chick to a married man. So we're talking and like, why do you still want to be with this man? He says he's the only man that has made her, she feels seen with him. The first day that they wanted to have sex, she was prepared all right, but the man never touched her. The man undressed her, gave her a wine to sip, sitting on the bed, and the man praised her from top to down. She has never experienced that before. So whenever he's with him, he's like, she's a princess, she's queen.
But there's one point which I want to contribute to, which is also in line with this. Yeah. The woman is, it's like one box with everything all connected together as one. Men are compartmental beings. We can compartmentalize things. I go to work and I come back. My work may not influence how I relate with people in the home. I can block that portion and then not interact that with my, my daily life. But the woman, everything is connected. The morning, how you greeted her, what you said to her, how you make her feel. All of this, you working, it is more of a mind. With the man, yes, there's psychological bait, but it's not so much. It's not as heightened as that of the woman. So with the woman, they are more of an emotional, psychological components that needs to be satisfied before even the sex act comes in. Okay. If you are insulting her, how do you expect her to have orgasm with you? Even if you are hitting and doing all of that, her mind is somewhere else, and she will not enjoy the act. So there's always some other connections that men need to look at. If you want to have a relationship, if you want to have a sexual event or a love-making event with your partner, your wife, you can start in the morning. The messages you send to her,
all right,
the little tap in the kitchen, how you appreciate her, make her feel, wanted. By the time it gets to the evening, she's already ready for you. So the moment you start and then the foreplay as well, we shouldn't rush. But men have, we will rush. We just, once our thing is up, we want to put it somewhere, and that's it. And then once it gets there, after a few going up and down, then you are done. But for her, you haven't warmed her up. And usually if the place is not lubricated, then the pain would ensue. If men would take time to really do foreplay, and then even have time to be able to stimulate the woman clitorally, a lot of the work would have been done. So just little penetration, even some women would even have orgasm with the clitoral stimulation even before the penis is inserted. Even at that moment, they will want you to be there. They will want you to come in. And then at that point, within some few minutes, even if you don't have to go far, she would have multiple orgasms. And a woman who is satisfied this way, the next morning, you don't need to say Jack and your water is warmed for you to go and bath. Your breakfast that morning will be different. So I think we should change that African perception, the man, trusting and then the moment you are sweating and that is when you are, no. Sometimes it could be a slow motion thing and it will be enjoyable, but all the time the woman should have been fully lubricated, ready for you. And it would involve a lot of things. That is what I've just mentioned, the foreplay, that is during the sex act, but how you treat her,
the emotional
your relationship with her.
Yeah.
If you're not abusing her, if you're treating her as your queen, then you'll be a king in the bedroom.
That's really true. The annoying part I hear when I have discussions with people is the fact that not only are they thrashing and leaving them frustrated, they turn their backs and then they start snoring. I feel like strangling him. I want to kill him. What I'm saying, Counselor, you want to kill him. I think I should give them the string to do that, right?
No. You see, some men lack the education. So you realize that after the sex and all that, her orgasm and all that, she need that cuddle. That's what you mostly say. She need that cuddle. And I always say this, if you're in love with somebody, when you study couples that have cancer, when they come to you, you realize that those who are really in love with themselves, you can see when you talk to them, you realize that even before sex, they talk, they have that text messages going on and all that. Just kissing, the woman gets wet. One lady said just hearing the husband's voice, watching his pictures, gets her wet. So love plays a major factor. Don't marry somebody just because of things that are not, you understand, the material aspects and all that. Because if you are really in tune with somebody, just hearing their voice talking to you and all that can even set the tone for you. And you see, when you are so much in tune to somebody to after sex, one thing you have to know, if the guy really is into you after sex, they rather pull you into their arms. You sleep on their chest. They care about you. They love you. Even when you turn, you realize that he turned. His mind is like he pushed you back. You turn and have you in his embrace. But if the love is going down, so that is one trick. You are married and still it's like, so you just finish where this one is facing east, the other one is facing west. Know that there's an issue. You should be able to cuddle. You should be able to sleep together before you go apart. But if it's not happening, then there's a lot on your mind which is not on the other person's mind. So you should cuddle, and after that, you see, most men, when they have good sex, they sleep.
Yeah.
Yes. When they have good sex, they sleep. Not just any sex. Any sex, they are good. They will just ejaculate and they go. But if they have good sex, they need to lie down, sleep for a while before. So you realize that they will cuddle you while they have that deep sleep that Adam had. Deep sleep. But for
Very
the
deep
ladies,
sleep.
yeah, the ladies, they need cuddle. So if you also finish sexual intercourse with a woman, your wife, and immediately you finish, you just wake up and go to the washroom, wash and start cooking, and it means you did nothing.
It was a performance.
Yes, you performed.
Okay. That's true. Once you were speaking, I was just thinking of something I'm saying to myself, that not only is the person saying, I appreciate you, and whatever we had is stronger, and I enjoy the bond we have. I want you to know that me and you are connected in this. So the embrace.
Yes.
Yeah. So people who are tactile people, you also understanding the love language of this person.
Yeah.
It's not only about, some women, when you start talking to them, I know what he wants. I'll give it to him, but I'm not connecting to him. But when you understand the love language, like Prof said, in the kitchen, the last time you said, just hug them from the back.
Yeah.
And kiss them gently on their neck.
Yeah.
You send shivers on their spine.
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Leave them. Go to work. I listened to this pastor, and this pastor was like, he was just doing this trick, sending these soft messages.
Yeah.
And then when he was coming, it was raining, and he said, I need hot shower because daddy is coming home. The wife understand what it means.
Yeah.
Because he has already done the job in the morning.
Yeah.
And during he's a pastor, he's very busy. But he had time to just tell him how much he cares, how much he loves her. So when he said that is coming and said, when I got home, of course, I knew everything was waiting
Ready.
for me.
Sex.
When I opened the door, the music that was playing was different.
Yeah.
The light was up, but the candles were there waiting for me.
Yeah.
My bathtub is already there, filled with everything you can think of. And I had to choose between the hall, the kitchen, the bathtub, or the bedroom.
Yeah.
And daddy had a hot shower.
Yeah.
And daddy is relaxed. Because plays on the psyche. But when it comes to a place where, when you send message, this rain that is coming here. Sometimes men want to feel warm more. I just know that, okay, here we go. Yes, so some women can just pick these lines and know that this is it. So it's good to appreciate.
Yeah.
And what's the response also, apart from this conversation, Prof, like the response of the woman during the activity itself? What does that do to a man?
Well, I think basically with the man, some men, or most men generally, would want their women to be satisfied. Some of them, as for a man, generally, most men will have their orgasm after a sexual act. They would reach the pinnacle where they would ejaculate, and then that is the state where they have the orgasm. So it is more like settled for most men when it comes to sex. So if he is able to get a response from the woman that she really enjoyed, what they've done, it also, boosts his morale.
Chipping in here, you see, Doc is most men. I'm not a man, but most men, if during the intercourse and the lady mentions their name, their real name, like the name, you understand? It works for them. Like you mention the name, like Joel. Oh, I like how you are doing. You mention the name, and you mourn. You kind of you grind your waist, like you twerk with them, and even how you see some like the daddy, Zazie, whatever, but they like their name to be mentioned. Just mention the name and how even you roll your head and all that, tag them and push them. They realize that they need to go more. They need to do more. So that is the sexual communication that men want.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that communication is saying you're rising to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I'm having fun and I want more of this.
Yeah.
So I can use a common name like Kofi, you are the man. Something like that.
Yeah.
I like it when you do this.
Yeah.
I like it when you do that. It can also be you might not be able to communicate, but your gestures,
Yes.
touched and say, that's okay. That means that I'm farming, that you can go ahead. Does it work for men?
Yeah, so the whole misconcept, the whole concept that I want to change with
Yes.
for most men is
Yes.
for us not to think about ourselves mostly during sex.
Okay.
And so if you think more of the other person, that you want to satisfy your woman, you want her to also reach orgasm, you will be concerned about her reactions.
Okay.
Sometimes you would realize that she will be enjoying the act. You would know,
Okay.
unless she's faking. But if she is not, you would know.
Okay.
There are times when you are hurting her, you would know. So it is important for the man to be able to understand what these two communication is, even if it's not verbal, so that you will know that what you are doing, you should continue and do it. But most of the time, if you get a positive feedback in terms of a moan, in terms of some sort of excitement, even the woman becomes so excited that she even wants to probably do certain things, in the mood then you know that you are getting somewhere. It is an act. It's an art. Even though it's an act, it's an art also.
Yeah.
So there should be some aspect of, getting motivated to continue.
Okay.
And mostly what the woman will do can help the man to be motivated.
All right.
Yes.
I like the part that you're saying that you want men to take their attention. I learned this word yesterday, and the psychologist was saying penny-centric. I'm like, okay, this is a new word I've learned. Penny-centric is all about the pennies and concentrating
Exactly.
on how big it is and how good it is, how hard it is, I'm feeling. So you're advocating, okay, it's not only about being penny-centric, it's about ensuring that she goes with me in this journey.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if we end up pleasing each other, both of us will have an amazing sexual experience. And so we not only look at myself, I look at you, but even in the process, if I'm a farm, it gives me more zip. But I want you to get to a place where after this, because if it's pleasurable, you want to do something that is pleasurable.
Exactly.
And nobody will force you. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
That I know for any time I engage in this activity with my husband, both of us will have a pleasurable experience. So I look forward to it. But if it's not pleasurable, you don't look forward to it, do you?
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
So that should be the goal. So if it is planned, if it is thought about, if you put effort
Yes.
into making every event is like the last one I'm going to have. I want it to be the best
Memorable.
and memorable, so that if tomorrow never comes and this is all I have to do, how can I make it that this will be like her best? So it is very encouraging to hear your wife say, this is the best I've ever had. Every time she says the best I've ever had, So it's like every day there's different. There's some, elevation, some going up, and she's always looking for the next one. Sometimes she just thinks about the act and she is already there.
Yeah.
That should be the motivation for the man. I want my woman. So I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the other person.
Okay.
The woman will also not think about herself, but she also be thinking about the husband. If both of them are having that idea, I want to please my man, I want to please my woman.
See, when the woman is thinking about, the man is thinking about pleasing the woman, at the end, the woman also pleases you.
Exactly.
So it becomes two-way.
Exactly.
Both of you get satisfied in the relationship. As he's saying, it doesn't become monotonous, right? It's the same style every day, same bedroom every day. You don't change. But if, as we are saying, you keep on changing and all that, you see, you are going to leave and mark on the person's mind.
Okay.
So mostly you realize that even you might not be divorced and all that, you still cherish that memory. You remember them like, whoa, he's one of the great maybe partners I've had sexually. So it's best that the men invest into giving women more orgasms.
I like the way we're wrapping up the session. I like the fact that we have to be selfless, especially men, and women be receptive also and cooperate with the man so together we can have a session. I like the fact that my favorite song, Prof just said it, every day they need to experience something better. So my songs goes, every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. So every round goes higher and higher and higher. All right, our viewers, we have to wrap up this. There's so much we can discuss, but we end here for the session. And I appeal to you, just like Prof has said, men, be intentional. Ensure that together with your wife, with your partner, you work together to achieve something so memorable so that you leave your signature. Even after 10 years, the thought of you brings shivers to her spine. And all she wants is to look forward to having that pleasurable moments with you. You can be 10 years in a marriage. You can still make it pleasurable. Thank you so much. This is Sex in the Temple, and my name is Monique.
Every day with you is magic. Every kiss is better than the last. It's a home I've never known, a place I know will